3,000 of you subscribe, but only about 200 are getting notifications, so click the bell and click all. Hello lovelies. So as you may have noticed, I have been doing a kind of experiment for a month with the Roll for Insight Q&A type stuff. Because I've been doing YouTube wrong all these years, sporadic uploads, different topics, long intros, not showing myself all the time, speaking in a more sort of accommodating, low confidence sort of way. Yeah, here's some ideas and they might be okay, I don't know, sort of thing. And I'm still doing a lot of things wrong. The videos are too short, for example. But I had noticed that the content that I put up and that I advertised more, I shared off YouTube on other social media platforms, didn't seem to be doing as well as stuff that I didn't promote off YouTube. And that never made a lot of sense to me. It's like you're being punished for posting links to your content other places than YouTube. I don't know how true that is, but it certainly appeared to be true for me. So I thought I'd experiment and deal with a bunch of these different things that I do wrong. I allowed myself to have an ego and to speak a bit more confidently and authoritatively. I plagiarized the format from Film Courage, which is a channel I very much recommend, though I've tightened and shortened things a bit from what they do. I have uploaded daily for a month without a single break, and all at the same time. All the preloaded material goes live around midnight. It's not exactly the best time, but it'll do, and it's all similar stuff. It's all Q&A around role-playing games, right? Which is my specialist subject if I was on Mastermind or something. And all of the videos are kind of low effort. It's just me in front of a black void, imitating talking to someone off screen, not looking directly into the camera, but you can always see me on the video and on the thumbnail. Apparently having a person on the thumbnail helps get clicks. I don't know how true that is. I'm aware that many of the thumbnails have derp face, but what can you do, really? So how has this all gone? Slow but steady success, I would say. Even my low effort, short, unadvertised videos do around 200 views in a typical sort of period, a week or so maybe, which isn't fantastic considering I'm getting on for 6,000 subs probably by the end of the year, but it's steady. My income via YouTube has gone up by about 20 to 25% as a result. The amount of subs I'm gaining has settled in at around 50 a month, and I no longer seem to be losing subs with each and every upload that I put up. I don't know how that triggers or what with YouTube, but yeah, uploading videos can sometimes kill your channel. I've got more overall engagement, perhaps because I'm addressing questions and the titles contain questions, and apparently that is another hook that brings people onto your videos. When I've done a different video, like this one, seemingly because it's outside of the now common and normalized content of the channel, that seems to get higher exposure and views even when I do advertise it on other social media. So I don't know, but those videos are standing out and getting more traction as well. It's not all been great. I haven't managed to attract anyone else to contribute and answer questions. The idea is to open up the format for other people, so they can access my audience and my channel to present things. But I guess if I'm only getting 200 hits in a week, it's not necessarily that appealing to people. But for me, that's a consistent level of success, which is good enough. You visualize 200 people listening to what you have to say, and it no longer seems quite as small. So yeah, I'll carry on with it, but slightly less intensely, because I'm bound to run out of questions from the audience and so on eventually. But hopefully other creators will want to come forward and answer some questions themselves. So we'll see how that goes. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Should really be a separate video, but as we've established, I do YouTube wrong. I had a talk with a representative from DrivethRu, like on video, so we could actually have a conversation. I can't disclose much because I agreed not to when we agreed to have the conversation, but it's nice to have a channel open to talk to someone directly and have an actual human to talk to rather than form letters and so on. So yeah, I can't talk about much, but I can talk about some things. I impressed upon them how ruinous it can be to people's mental health. A lot of the stuff that goes on, they're being constantly hounded, all your products being challenged and so on, and the difficulty with the siege mentality that can set in when that happens to you. Hopefully I conveyed how difficult that can be, and how creators can get angry and antsy and want to push back and kick up a stink when it happens, especially if it happens constantly and consistently. I was assured that if your product gets taken down due to a complaint, it will then be manually bumped back to the front of the page, the landing page for the site. So that should help compensate for the problems that you lose if your product gets taken down straight away. I'm not sure that this has happened consistently in the past, but I am assured that that is the policy, and if it hasn't happened in the past, it now will. So that should help salve the sting a little bit. I was assured that you won't just be kicked off for uploading controversial or edgy or sexy content. Someone will have to report it for them to go through it, and just because it's controversial or edgy won't be a reason for them to take it down. So it's only the things like the hostile marketing and so on. So I would just encourage everybody, if you are attacked, if you are taken down temporarily for review, just try and be patient, even if it happens to every project that you put up. Anyway, I feel a lot more reassured and listened to than I have before, and I think they understand better now where I am coming from, how sincere I am, and that I'm not just making a fuss for the sake of it or being some wild-eyed contrarian. I think they have a better understanding now, and understand me at least, and I think as an extension of that, they might understand better where some other creators are coming from and why they're so upset. And I hope as a result of this conversation we might see a slight softening of interactions with them. So yeah, be patient. I think there are people there who are listening. It wasn't a perfect conversation, but I do feel a lot more reassured and listened to than I did before. And that's about as much as I can say, because I want to keep that channel open, so I don't want to betray trust by sharing anything else. Hopefully you can forgive me that, but as a creator, I think it's important not to piss them off too much. Just enough, but not too much. Anyway, I hope that reassures some people. Zang.
Sure, You could play one of those hoity-toity horror games where the most horrifying thing that happens is someone wearing a corset who really shouldn't. Or you could grind a zombie's face into a belt sander.